Blades Ramble are proudly supported by our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. We would not be where we are without the incredible support of John and the team. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information or follow the link in the description below.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is a very special impromptu stream. Weren't planning on being live tonight, but here we are. I've had a very busy day. I've actually been down in London. If you think you can spot makeup on my face, you can't. So stop talking about it. It's not really there. Right, so I've had to come on tonight we're a fickle bunch, aren't we? We are a fickle bunch. Football fans in general are very fickle, but Sheffield United, I think we take the cake sometimes. So it has been all doom and gloom, me included. I am guilty as everybody else in this. I have not enjoyed what I've seen these first three games. I have been very worried. And I have to say, I think whatever is happening at the club, certainly in the last 24 hours it seems, still seems very rushed and very not all the way thought through. For those that aren't aware, let's get to the headline points. And I will come on to the bits that I have heard and what's been confirmed and what hasn't been confirmed. But for those that aren't aware, Ben Godfrey, the man who we spoke about a week ago, being linked with a loan move from Atalanta in Italy, former Norwich, former Everton, former Ipswich player, who I thought really fit the profile of what we needed for this high-press system, is currently, supposedly, on his way to England for a medical with Sheffield United. That has been reported on X by Luca Bendoni. So we've had a look at this. I've done a little bit of checking. It seems to seem, well, you'll see for yourself how good that is. The second bit of big news is rumoured interest in Japhet Tanganga. That is something that we haven't reported on at the Blades Ramble. His name has been mentioned in Sheffield United circles, but that's more so been because fans of probably every club in the Premier League, certainly the lower half of the Premier League and the top half of the Championship, have been aware of this alleged clause that he's got for the Premier League where he can leave for a low price. Now, if the top end of the Championship are going to get him, they have to pay more than that, obviously, you would have thought, and Millwall would prefer that deal. I think he's a London boy, and I didn't see that as being a realistic signing, potentially. So, we always say on here, whenever you hear a rumour, particularly in this silly season that is transfer season, you've always got to check your sources. So I've done that, and not only have I done that, I've brought him onto the Ramble. So, welcome one and all. Luca Bendoni, the man who broke both stories this afternoon. Luca, welcome to the Blades Ramble.
Hi, mate. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. Now, I know you haven't got long because you are a busy man working for Sky Sports now in Italy and different things that are going on. You were telling me you're getting 300 messages a minute at the minute, and I understand that. So thank you for taking the time. Talk to us about, which one you want to talk about first, Ben Godfrey or Japhet Tanganga. We want to hear all that you know about both of them, please.
I'll start from the easy one, Godfrey. So I catched him at the airport today. So he's right now on a flight to Manchester Airport from Milano Linate, where he has left on a private jet like an hour ago, approximately. He's going to sign with Sheffield United, of course, after completing medicals. So he will undergo medicals soon, and then he will sign the contract. It will be a loan, from my understanding. We are still working to check if there are options included in the deal. An idea that I read also on some English papers was to put an option that was going to become mandatory in case of promotion or something like this. But at the moment, we are still checking on this. So we are waiting to say. We don't say things that are not 100% verified. But the thing that is actually verified is that he left with his family, basically, with his children too. A lot of luggage, of course, because he's leaving for a year loan. And he's on flight to Manchester at the moment. And
That is brilliant. Thank you. Was that
Sheffield
your
United.
video,
So
by the way?
that's the first and very clear news.
So was that your video that we saw
Yeah.
online? Nice
Yes.
one. So how long has that deal been in the works? Do you know? Has it come together quickly or?
Well, kind of quickly about wrapping it up, about sealing it. It was quick.
Okay.
It was something that Sheffield has been thinking about for a good amount of time, I think. But it was really now the timing of sealing it, because he always trained with the team. Also, Atalanta last week had a open doors training session at the stadium, and he was absolutely part of the training session with all the starters, etc., etc. But so, and it was 4 days ago, 5 days ago, something like this. So he has always been involved in the first team training. He was not left on a side on his own, and now he's joining Sheffield in a deal that was actually wrapped up kind of quickly on loan. Yeah.
So Atalanta, what are their thoughts on Ben Godfrey? Are they happy for him to go out and just get some football and maybe put some value back into him? Or are they thinking this could be a permanent solution of him going away from the football club now?
No, I think they are considering a permanent sale, you know, whether it's now with an option next year or whether it's this one, a simple loan, and then a permanent deal next summer. Because he really didn't adapt to Serie A, to Italian football. It's not easy. It's very different to the English Premier League and Championship. He's very much used to the English football, not to the Italian one. It's more tactical, less physical, in some ways, more, strategy, defense. It's very different. He didn't adapt well. Also, the feeling with the past coach, the previous coach, Gasperini, that now went to Roma, was not really much there. So he could have left also last season, to be honest. And now he's leaving this summer. So let's see how this loan spell will turn for him. Hopefully well.
Yeah, and we're really excited about it. Look, just last one on Godfrey before we move on to Tanganga. Have you any idea on his wage demands?
No, to be honest, I'm not speaking about wages because I didn't check anything about wages.
Okay,
so
but you don't know who. It doesn't have to be the amount, but do you know if Atalanta are covering some of his wages, or is Sheffield United?
I'll try to get you news as soon as we check it.
Great. Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you, Luca. So the potential permanent signing of Japhet Tanganga, where's that come from?
Well, it's something that Sheffield United have started negotiating in a concrete way over the weekend. I first heard it over the weekend, but it's now that things are getting concrete, at least in the past 24, 48 hours. There have been talks between the two clubs. There is no agreement yet, as far as I know. But I do know that clubs are in talks and that Millwall would consider a sale to another championship club very reluctantly. You know, they are reluctant to sell to another championship club. But if an offer in the region of £7 million comes, they will sell him, because they put a price, a valuation around £7-8 million on him. And I do know that Sheffield United are negotiating a fee north of £5 million. But it's early to say the final numbers, because they are not at the final numbers yet. So we don't know if it will be 5.5, 6, 6.5, or even more. And we don't even know if they will manage to reach an agreement, because until something is sealed and agreed, it's not. So
that's true. Yeah, we've seen that before at Sheffield United.
I do know there are talks. I do know Sheffield United are actually interested, and I will provide with more updates as soon as I get to know if the deal is progressing, how the deal is progressing, and if it will be done soon, and how much will be the fee. So
that's brilliant. Thank you. So
following.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you're following Luca. This is all come from Luca's X account. So just let us know your X. I don't want to get your X handle wrong. Is it Luca Bendoni?
Yeah, my name.
At Luca Bendoni. So that's brilliant. Thank you, Luca. So just with Tanganga then, I was going to say something then and I got sent off at a tangent. But, that was what I was going to say. Usually with these transfer deals nowadays, you see that the personal terms and everything are agreed and the fee with the club is last. Do we think that's the case with Tanganga? Are we sure he'd be happy coming to Sheffield? He's quite known to be a bit of a London boy, likes to stay in around that area.
Yeah, he always stayed in London apart from a spell in Germany. But I still have to check about the player's will. I do know
Okay.
about talks between the two clubs. I don't think he would be against a move to Sheffield, in my opinion. But that's something to be checked more in the next hours. I'm very calm on everything. I don't want to over push things. So that's why I'm keeping this,
Absolutely, yeah.
this line kind of quiet. But as soon as I have updates, I will
I'm
try to
trying to
provide
stay
them
calm
at least.
myself, Luca. Trying my best
Sorry?
to stay calm. Trying to stay calm because we've had a terrible start to the season after a really we came so close last year to getting promoted to the Premier League, and we've had such a poor start and a huge change at the football club. So to hear some really positive news at players of this calibre potentially coming into Sheffield United, it's really exciting for us. So I just want to say thank you again for joining us, mate. I'm not going to keep you. I
No problem.
asked you as soon as the news broke and we were messaging back and forth. You were straight on to say yes, you'd come on, but I know how busy you are. So thank you for joining us, mate, and I'll let you go.
Appreciate it. Thank you, mate. It was a pleasure, and hope to be back soon with more updates. Thank you.
Yeah, you're more than welcome on any time, and we'll speak to you soon. Cheers, Luca. Thank you. So that's Luca Bendoni, everybody. So thank you to Luca for joining us. Really, really great to get him on. So if anybody's not following him, by the way, he's obviously got close links into what's happening at Sheffield United at the moment. So get following him on at Luca Bendoni on X, and then hopefully we'll have some more updates of that nature to come, which will be really exciting. So yeah, we're going to let him go now, and we'll see what else he comes up with. Because for those that aren't aware, the Japhet Tanganga being a domestic deal, maybe some sort of, well, how would Luca get the steer on that? He's got Italian agents. His agents are Italian, and that's not just come from, I'm not saying that's directly where Luca's got his information, but I assume there's some link there because it was said in our chat earlier that his agents are Italian, so there must be some sort of link to that. So how about that then? A bit of a coup for the Ramble, getting on Sky Sports reporter from Italy. As soon as he breaks the news, he's right here on the Blades Ramble. Love that. Absolutely love it. So those are the two headline stories. We've heard there from Luca that Ben Godfrey is a loan deal. It looks very likely. He's just got a medical to complete, essentially. He's in the air as we speak, flying from Italy to Sheffield United. Going to land, well, close to Sheffield because we've not got an airport. And that's another story altogether. Japhet Tanganga, terms are being discussed. Millwall wants 7. We are currently at around north of 5. So really good information from Luca there. You can't, and he's right to withhold certain bits of information because what we don't want are the Sharks circling as well. It's great for us to get to know this sort of thing, and I really appreciate his input, but we also don't want to be sort of revealing too much, and then a Middlesbrough comes in with, or a Coventry. Get away, Coventry. We don't want them sniffing around and jumping in front of us. So, Japhet Tanganga to Sheffield United, let's get it done. Don't know how long it'll take. Obviously, people will be thinking, will it be done for the weekend? Can you imagine that? Millwall. It's not going to be done in time. It's not going to be done. Surely it's not going to be done in time. But anyway, that's by the by. So those are the two big stories. I'm not going to stay on long tonight. Oh, that's my plan anyway, because I've been away in London filming all day. There'll be something on Behind the Ramble coming out about that. So I've been filming today. I haven't seen the family. Sophie's been in tears all day because I haven't been at home. So I need to go. She'll be in bed now, but I'm going to go spend a bit of time with Mrs. Ramble at some stage. But those two big deals are the ones. Then Matty, we know him as Matty on this channel, but Nils Zetterstrom is almost done. That is what I am hearing, again, from trusted sources. So Godfrey and Matty are the ones that are 99% done. Tanganga bid was in. That was from a separate source to Luca, and Luca's now confirmed it as well. So that is looking really strong. Ben Mee has been offered a deal. So we are chucking money at centre halves. Caveat. And I know you probably won't want to hear this. I know you probably won't want me to talk about this, but we've got to be realistic as well. We've got to balance everything that we're saying. Callum Doyle has signed for Wrexham, or is in the process of signing for Wrexham. This is the left-footed centre-half from Man City who's played in the Championship, around 8 to 10 million, I think it is. That surely, and this is an assumption rather than knowing it, that surely ends their interest in Jack Robinson. And if it does, then Jack Robinson will likely stay at Sheffield United. I can't see any other clubs really coming in and paying his wage, because I don't think he's a top-end Championship player. And again, that's no dig, but we're just sort of sorting out the details of what's going on at the club at the minute. So if he stays, I think it's as a backup. But I also then think we don't need 4 new centre-halves because we've already got Tyler Bindon and we've possibly got Jack Robinson still there. I think Reece Norrington-Davies probably goes to QPR. What I'm also being told is, and this is the bit that might kick a few people, is that we're now at the stage where we can work a deal up to almost completion and then just pull the trigger on our favourites. It doesn't mean that all 4 centre-backs that we are talking to, Godfrey, Ben Mee, Zatterstrom and Tanganga all come off. Doesn't mean that they all happen. It means we are definitely speaking to them, but we may pick or choose not to do one of them. If I'm a betting man, I think if Tanganga and Godfrey get done or get close, I think Mee's the one that drops out. That's just my instinctive call. But, and I probably hope that's the case, if I'm honest. Tanganga on a permanent deal, as much as I was trying to sort of, well, he's not been that great, and he didn't look great for Millwall at the weekend. I stand by that. Somebody said that to me in the comments. I thought he was rubbish. I didn't say he was rubbish. I don't think he played very well in the highlights that I saw when Millwall got beat 3-0. But there is definitely a player in there. And to get him for £5 million or around 6.5, which we probably will end up doing, will be a hell of a deal. A hell of a deal. I think that will add value. That is the sort of signing that we want. We can build around him. Interesting that we have got Bindon, who we really like, and could have Godfrey and Tanganga. Does that say 3 at the back? Some are now saying we may move to a 3 at the back, or does it just give us the option to go 3 at the back rather than definitely go 3 at the back? We'll have to wait and see. The other thing that I want to sort of calm the room and talk about, Tim Erigbunham, it now looks like the deal is off. All this talk of centre-backs, it's getting me down on centre midfielders. So, I don't think it's going to happen. It's sort of fallen way down, and he is obviously now further up the pecking order. We had the chance to make our move, and we didn't do it. And now there are other options on the table for him, and that might include staying at Everton. So I think the Tim deal is off. There is another potential deal that will knock your socks off, but I'm not going to mention it in case it doesn't happen. So I didn't mean to unnecessarily set people off in terms of getting super excited. All the deals that I have talked about today and previously, if they don't happen, I'm not mentioning names, obviously, because if I chuck a name out and it doesn't happen, then people run wild with it and get super excited about it and all this sort of stuff. There was a right winger, a domestic right winger that I mentioned 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 days ago now. We were in with a permanent, inquiry, and we were looking to get him in on a permanent deal. That is no longer happening. That is no longer happening. The club, the selling club, want too much money. They think he's too important to their club to sell. And I will mention that name after the transfer deadline has passed, and I'll let you know who that was. Just so I can so we're not throwing names out spuriously, if that's the right word, or, what's the word I'm looking for? Irresponsibly, probably, is the right word. There's a Polish defender, I think, that's been mentioned in and around certain sites. I can't keep up, to be honest, with a lot of the stuff. I've not really been on my phone too much today, and then it blew up as I'm on train coming back. He is still on the cards if Godfrey falls through. He's a potential alternative to Ben Godfrey. That is what I'm being told. The other thing I'm being told is that he's close. We're still close, so we've not given up on him at all. The other thing I will say is Ben Godfrey can play right back. Tanganga can play right back. So they are versatile defenders. And Dave the Nose messaging me saying I'm a tease. I didn't mean to say it, really. And then I couldn't put the words back in. I'm sorry. But Tanganga can play right back. Godfrey can play right back. And a lot of the reports say that he's a better right back than he is a centre-half, despite his build. So, there you go. That's my update. And that's Luca Bendoni's at Luca Bendoni on X. That's his update as well. Absolutely top class. Thank you to Luca again for joining us. I'll read a few comments, but we're back on again tomorrow. We're back on with Hot Off the Presser, and I think I'd scheduled Countdown to Kick-Off for tonight. Obviously, it didn't happen tonight. It's going to be tomorrow night because I wasn't expecting to be in London at the beginning of the week. So, here we go. Let's have some comments. I won't be able to read everybody's because everybody's going balmy. I'm 20 minutes behind already. Mark Melchew. God bless America. Gabe starts us off with finally. Tanganga, Godfrey and me. Now that's a backline I'd like to see, says Jack. United don't mess this up. Can I be cheeky and throw a top quality right winger into the mix? Rob says, have our wonderful owners finally woken up from their slumber? Blade Social Club says, evening chaps, some good news for a change. Matt says, wow, Jimmy, all doom and gloom. All doomed, going down. So we're winning the league again. Great signing if we pull it off. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Chris says, I hope this is not smoke and mirrors again. That 4 would be nice. Just need a striker to replace the 3 we've lost. The 3 we've lost? 3 strikers? Advance warning to Wrexham and Birmingham. Jog on. Yeah, absolutely right. Jog on. Get it done, United. Yippee, Cooper now has a defence in front of him. Beast Boy says the last 2 hours have been the greatest 2 hours of the whole transfer window. CJ says, I'll take full credit for this stream. I'd heard it before, actually. Dave Ledger says, evening, Jimmy. Doesn't seem real. Owners have finally woken up and we're making quality moves. Let's hope it's the start of something great moving forward. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Sonny Glasby of Glasby's Pallets, full channel sponsor of Ramble FC and Behind the Ramble. Thank you for your support, pal. Ollie Arblaster took his picture there with Man Mountain. Finally, some signings, he says. Sayers deserves this backing and can hopefully kick on. We'll take him a few games to get him working in this system, but if he does, wow, what a team we've got with these 2 in. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Scott says, evening, Jimbo. Hope you're good, pal. Is it finally happening? Have we finally got some players coming in? Please don't take Sheffield United time getting these. Sheffield United time. Yeah, that's true. It's a true thing, isn't it? Get him in. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. Brett says, things looking positive. Told you we'd come good. Hopefully, Godfrey and Tanganga would level us up. Any chance the rumours of BBD coming back are true? Think he'd do well in this system. Not heard it. I've seen the rumour and where it's come from. I've not heard anything about Brereton Diaz coming back. Ben says, evening, Jim. Really excited by the news coming out. Hopefully this time by the end of the month, our defence will look solid on Godfrey. I think he's coming into play right back if we get Tanganga. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. Like and subscribe. Ian says, evening, Jimmy. Hope today went well and you put the piggies in their place. Well, after a few weeks, something finally gets us excited. It was all about patience. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. I'm not having that, by the way, in terms of it's all about patience. I think this is a last minute, push the panic trigger, pay the money, get them in. And I don't mind it because that's the position we're in. So I'd rather have quality coming in last minute than not at all. But evening, Jimmy. Just mentioned this in the chat, but worth saying it again. I've not been this excited since the 25th to 75th minute against Sunderland. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up the American owners. Oh. Kev says, hi, Jimmy. My head is spinning. My head keeps spinning. Thank you to Major General Gamer, who's just signed up as a Platinum Rambler. Very much appreciated. You should have had a welcome email that you get when you sign up for that, and you can jump straight into our WhatsApp group. Ian, I'm sure, will be there to approve while I'm on stream. Sorry, Kev, you said, hi, Jimmy. My head's spinning with all these centre-backs we're signing. You and me both, pal. But as I said, we're working them up to the deal at the point where we can maybe pull out at the last minute on a couple of them if we want to. I think Matty signs anyway because he's won for the future, which we've talked about a little bit. I think he's seen to be good enough to push if we need him. Push for it's not like chucking Dovey in at the deep end. I think he could do a job for us, but he's seen as a longer term prospect. Him and old Japhet, my boy Japhet. Trusty Rufus says, get some in for Saturday. Is the Tanganga deal false rumours, though? Well, you've heard it here now, Trusty Rufus. You obviously put that comment in before the stream started, and that's fair enough. Scott says, Rob Dorset of Sky reporting Tanganga fees 2 to 2.5 million. That's crazy if true. Well, we've just heard very different, haven't we? You see what happens when you leave the building, Jimmy, says Daz. Any chance you could bugger off until the end of the window? I'm not a big fan of the Tango, man, but that's a steal if that's the right price and true. Bean says, obviously positive news with all the rumours, but we've had that many. I won't believe them until they're holding the shirt up. Exactly right, and that is the way to be. At least the board have finally woke up. Doesn't excuse the summer so far. Agreed. Danny says, evening, Jimmy. I hope you're bringing us Blades fans some positive news. Oh, that's all right. Don't you talk to me about Cameron Archer, Paul. If we could bring him back, I'd be there. Andrew says, hallelujah. About time for some defensive incomings. Be amazed if we got Tanganga, though. Well, that went to 0 from 100 fast, says Jamie Dumpling. Let's have a look what else is being said, because I now have to skip down to the bottom when it rejigs itself a little bit. Here we go. Who's not had a comment read? About time, says Andrew. Tavs says, up the Blades, up the Ramble. Rich says, go on, Jimmy lad, give us a positive news. Rich, one of our latest Platinum Ramblers, who has jumped in with some very informative news himself. I find myself agreeing with a lot of what you put in, pal, by the way. I know I hadn't had a chance to comment. I'd say about 90% of the stuff that you've been putting in are similar to what I'm hearing, so your sources are good. Tom says, evening, Jimmy Ramble. Don't have anything particularly of note to say other than I'm a big fan of the streams. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Well, thank you, Tom. Really appreciate that, pal. Billy says, will be interesting to see whether Tanganga features this weekend. Big T, a little bit sceptical. I'll believe it when I see it, he says. Nige says, evening, Jimmy and fellow Ramblers. We're finally making moves, so it looks like the body's starting to listen or realise for themselves. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up behind the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Gabe says, looking good in that kit, Jim Bob. Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate. You'll have to wait and see if I did you proud today. You'll have to wait and see. Is Mrs. Ramble happy about the last minute stream? I can't be on long. I said that earlier, didn't I? How long have I been on? 26 minutes. We'll go another 10 probably. Mel says, will Godfrey play Saturday? Will Tanganga be out of the Millwall team? We'll have to wait and see. Paul says, I mate Leeds Sand Okafor from Milan. Relevance being, would you Blades take Ramazani on loan? Yes. Yes. He's down the pecking order and Farker doesn't seem to like him. I was amazed that Jack Harrison came on for you other night instead of Ramazani on that left. Absolutely amazed. Jack says, evening, Jimmy. Looking forward to this one. What are we doing down in London, mate? I've just moved to central London full time and my nearest ground is Millwall. Time to jump ship? No, never. I was down doing some filming for Sunsport and it was against another Wednesday fan doing a quiz for their YouTube channel. So I've done a little short about it that I'll be posting on Behind the Ramble tomorrow. So keep it. If you're not already subscribed to Behind the Ramble, get yourselves over there. And Ramble FC while you're there as well. That'd be great. Let's have a look. Luke says, I'm tracking Ben Godfrey's flight right now. Alex says, I'm not sure Tanganga's realistic either. Why should he want to come? Blunt Yorkshireman says, nice one with Luca. Proper exclusive up the Ramble. You're interviewing Sky Sports journalist. You're big time. International Ramble. Love it. Would be great if we managed to bring these two in. Certainly feeling like the club need a lift at the minute, says Andrew. Neil says, there is hope. Hopefully some light at the end of the tunnel if these two are on the way, but still need a right back and a defensive central midfielder to start with. Let's get these boys off at line first, Neil, and then we'll worry about other positions. Centre half is the one. Is that Andy the Blade's kitchen? Oh, that Luca were in. No, I can assure you, Andy the Blade has not taken him hostage. Jamie says, we need Godfrey, another left back, 2 centre midfielders, another winger, another striker, as Cannon can't hit a barn door. Wow. John Asquith calling me out. This is normally where I commend him for being the best business coach around, but I'm not going to do that tonight if he's making jibes about me having makeup on. Whoa, we got Luca on now. Beast Boy, I knew you'd be impressed with that. Welcome to the stream, Luca. Zonny reckons it's incredible getting Luca. Well, we're big time, you know. We're a decent sized channel now. And that's all thanks to you lot, so thank you. Should have never got rid of Wilder, says Lofts. That's another conversation for another day. We'll have that conversation if we lose to Millwall. Ray says, Godfrey will be a great signing. Get Thomas in as well. Up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Bobby Thomas is a genuine bid that was in, or certainly a genuine strong inquiry. We were talking about trying to get him, Wu and Nils all for less than 10 mil. We talked about it on the channel. And this is why you shouldn't always be mentioning names, I suppose, out loud. But it was out there in the ether, wasn't it? So that is definitely conversations that have taken place. Now, think about this. Coventry here, that We're in for Japhet Tanganga. We're in for Ben Godfrey. There is no real burning need to go get Bobby Thomas, is there, at the moment? Well, that gives us options, doesn't it? That we are no longer the desperate club that needs Bobby Thomas from Coventry to plug that gap. So our bargaining power is much stronger. Don't be surprised if Tanganga doesn't happen and Bobby Thomas does if Coventry go get Charlie Hughes, for example. These are all moving parts at the minute. And like somebody said earlier, until they're holding the shirt, it's not a done deal. Jimmy Dunn is the most obvious example that we can point to, because that was absolutely signed and sealed. Just a little full stop needed to go on contract, and Chris Wilder got sacked. Mayslayer says, Godfrey's a great signing for you at championship level, Jim. You lads have got to be buzzing. Yes, mate. And Tanganga's a class signing as well. Yep, absolutely right. Tab says, shout out, Jimmy, give me these live updates. Love this show. Thank you, mate. We've got a junior Fabrizio, says Cal. Yes, he'll take that, I'm sure. He'll take that. Jamie Dumpling says, I like how Luca for wages would rather say nothing than speculate when nothing's concrete. Top guy. That gives you more faith in a source, doesn't it, when they're not willing to sort of chuck out numbers. I think it's really good. Great update. Jimmy says, John, thank you. No problem, mate. Are my agents Italian? No, my agents are not Italian, Kyle. I don't know why that's not coming up as a comment to be read. Don't know if that's not working. Oh, there we go. That took a little bit of time. Bit of a delay. Liam says, imagine Godfrey and Tanganga together at the back for us now. Wow. Absolutely right. Aaron says, have you heard anything about Ben Mee? Yeah, we've offered a deal to Ben Mee. But again, it'll be on us as well to decide whether to push the button on that. I think even if, obviously, he needs to agree to it as well. Look at Jimmy, the new Jim White. Well done, pal, says David. Don't know about that. That's an awful Scottish accent. I'll be happy with Japhet Tanganga, says Gaz. Me too. L-Dog says, the blade in me says Tanganga either gets poached or we can't agree a 5 million a fee. 5 million currently we're at. I reckon we go 3 million more. That would be some jump. Now, I think, any clue on woo, says Dino. Yeah, close is the term being used to me by the source that has proven to be very reliable. Whether it happens again, no shirt yet. No shirt. Flyover Fred says, you've underestimated Ben Mee there big time. I think if you have got the chance of signing, I think Zatterstrom comes anyway as a prospect signing. And if you've got the chance of any three at the moment between Godfrey, Mee, 35-year-old Mee who's not had a pre-season and not trained, and Tanganga, then Mee is the third of the three. In my opinion, Fred, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I really like Mee, and I would love us to bring him in because we need characters, we need leaders. But I think in terms of the speed that we play at, the amount of time he'll need to get up to speed, I hope he comes in anyway because we need that. But I think if one is to fall, it might be Ben Mee, and I'm just speculating there. That's a guess. That's an absolute guess. Nath says, hi, Jimmy. With these four being heavily linked now, does that mean Thomas is a no-go? We just talked about that, haven't we, pal? Mick says, well done, Jim. In my humble opinion, Robinson lost his move after the Brum fiasco. Who'd want him? Chris says, hi, Jimmy. Some good news at last. Hopefully we can push on from this if all get confirmed and have a very successful season. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. Absolutely right. I'm not going to talk about, this man is... I shouldn't have said it, should I? Again, you say one little thing. Brownhill, Billing, BBD, they're all names are coming out. Evening, Jimmy, says Paul of Wellstone Landscapes. Who's been at my house today while I've been away, so thank you, pal. Hope today went well, mate. It did, mate, thank you. It went well. I enjoyed it. I won't tell you the result, but it went well. Keeler Dunn, the winger, says Michael. Look, stop guessing. Stop guessing. Over 700 in here. Hit the like button, people. It's free. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Where I wasn't supposed to be on tonight, and I have sacrificed time with my wife, which some may see as a blessing. I may see as a curse when I go back in and take a frying pan to back at head. But we'll see. We'll see. The Korean right back is close too. Huge end to the transfer window, says TD. It needed to be, didn't it? It needed to be. This could save our season. This could save our... That sounds so dramatic, but I think how many games did Leeds lose last season? They lost less than I can't remember what it was. I can't remember. I shouldn't have said that out loud if I weren't ready, but that's what the Ramble does, isn't it? Leeds and Burnley, look at how many games they lost last season. I don't know the number, but it won't be many more than 2, and we're already at that number. So we need, if we're going to go for autos, which still sounds a million miles away, then we've got to bring in these sort of statement signings. Spoiling us, Jimmy. I know, mate. I know. We try. Filming in London, Tanganga interview incoming. I wish, mate. I wish. Bladesman from the Lane says Ben Doak. It's Ben Gannon Doak, and he signed for Bournemouth for 20 million quid, rising to 25. Bladesman from the Lane, so it won't be him, will it? Adam Rag says, just joined. Sorry, what's the news? Are we actually signing people? You're going to have to go back. You're going to have to go back, Adam, and have a little look, pal. Matty says, oh, your daddy's happy now. I've been signed. Yes, I'm sure he will be. Tom says, Raheem Sterling on the right wing. Liam says, finally, Tanganga, you know how long I've wanted him, pal. Up all the rambles, please. Like and subscribe. Thank you, mate. Jack says, it just sounds too good to be true at the minute. Heads on Mars. It does sound too good to be true. And that is where we pump the brakes a little bit with our blades. Let's get our heads back in the real world until they're holding up the shirt. Let's... Craig says, evening Jimmy, love the new show with Cal, up the blades, up all the rambles. Thank you, Craig. That's over on Ramble FC. We've got a live show every week now with Cal Fowler. It's going out on both channels, Ramble FC and Cal Fowler's channel. Come and watch it on our channel because we need the support. He doesn't. He's close to being a millionaire, I think, at this stage. We're both away next week though, so we're going to skip a week and we'll be back week after. Joe says, heard Wrexham are very light at centre back and it's only a modest fee. Can still see Robbo going to them. Great. Scott says, Peter Smith, senior reporter at Sky, also says we're front runners for Tanganga. Hope so. Soren Jorgensen says, Danish Leeds fan with sympathy for the Blades. Thank you. Loan to buy Ramazani. He'll dominate the league with regular playing time and Farker doesn't like him. I would snap your hand off for Ramazani. Absolutely snap your hand off. Dave says, nice one getting Luca on. Jimmy, hit the like, please. Thank you, Dave. Hope you're well, pal. East Midland Parkway says, great chat with Luca, Jimmy. We are now Continental Ramble. Up the blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe from Kev the Bait and Blade. Thank you, pal. Scott says, Kumas, stop guessing. And that wouldn't be really... No. Not a big Kumas fan. I'd rather have Jason. And he's, what, 50? Quality signings, proverbial game changer. Absolutely right. And Robin says, really hope a right winger is coming. That's one position we still need to strengthen. Agreed, but let's get these done first, Robin. Absolutely get these done first. And I think I've done all right. We're going to wrap up there before I start getting into any more comments because you know what I'm like once I get going, I can't stop. So I want to say thank you to everybody again for joining me tonight on this impromptu Blades Ramble, trying to keep you up to date with everything that's going on. Your number one destination for all your Sheffield United news, when we can be. I'll always share what I can with you. And it's all said in good faith. So if things don't come off, it was said with the right intentions, and it's to the best of my knowledge at this time. So fingers crossed, these two main boys definitely happen because I think they're big-time game changers. I want to say thank you again to Luca Bendoni, who has broken both these stories on X tonight. Go and follow Luca Bendoni on X for all the latest Sheffield United news. And we may see him again on the Ramble if these deals get closer to being done, or even once they're completed. That'd be great, wouldn't it, as well? So thank you to everyone that's joined me tonight. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards! Up the blades!